Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And you know how I love bringing in experts. And today is a VIP expert that you're going to really love. You know, I spend a lot of time, we all do, thinking about everybody else and not worrying about ourselves at all. And then we wonder why we're a little off our game, well, we can't hit our targets. Well, today we're going to figure that out because today we're going to learn how to be us for us, or as he likes to say, be you for you. So sit right there. We'll be right back.
Emmett, do you want to play with me? Yeah, I can't play right now. I'm doing show notes.
You know, life is a puzzle. I always say that, and I see things in puzzles. Well, our guest today is a good buddy of mine. I met him through Secret Knock, so you know we're going to have a blast. And he's going to teach us how to, put that puzzle together one piece at a time. And I think the first piece is being you for you. Richard Gordon is here. Hey, Richard, what's happening?
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Glad to have you here, man. You haven't been here in over a year. We missed you.
I know, funny enough, and you'll love this, how the universe works with the law of attraction. I said in my head, I saw your last interview posted, and I said, hey, it's my time. Like Greg Reed says, it's my time. And then your invitation showed up in my email. So I told my wife, and my wife is like my soul, right? So she gives me the look. She's like, law of attraction.
There it is. There it is. So much, so much. You know, I read, well, you mentioned it last time you were on, that one piece at a time. And I believe when I listen to you, and you are such a wise guy. I love just hanging. Look, wise guy is an intelligence, not the mob. You guys stop that. Okay. Although he is very strong and he probably could do that, but that's not what I meant. When you and I hang out, I love just little bits of knowledge you love to drop whenever we're at an event. How important is it, to be you for you? And what does that mean to you?
Yeah, and I appreciate it. All my conversations with you. You always take me to a higher level. So it's about who you surround yourself with. And
Yes, sir.
how I came up with that whole BU4U concept is I've been blessed to be a teacher. I've been teaching my whole life. I've taught the military. I've taught martial arts for 40 years. I've taught in church. I've taught school. And so as I'm teaching and instilling upon people, I have, like, to me as a teacher, you have an obligation to impart on people, not just spit out knowledge. We all had teachers that just kind of talk at you. So I always wanted to be unique. I wanted to be able to instill something in my students, regardless of what form. And so there's always this missing ingredient. I'm like, what's missing? Like, what's missing with the knowledge I'm giving them, teaching them about history and life and lessons and balancing a checkbook, all of this stuff. But there's something missing.
A checkbook.
Right, exactly. There's something missing to make them happy. And I'm like, what is missing in the executive who has the corner office? So he has it all according to the American standard. He's got the education, the wife, the house, the fence, and he's there. So I'm like, what's missing? And then that's when I started looking at, we're not taught to be individuals. We're not taught to be happy. School teaches us to walk the steps from kindergarten, walk in step, hold the person's hand next to you, walk in line, sit down, line your crayons up, put your little backpack in a numbered spot. So I get that. Yeah. And, again, same thing we follow in the military. So I get it for order. But what that does is it squashes any individuality.
Yeah.
And then they spit us out into the world and they say, okay, go forth. But people have been so much entrenched in following this path and then following a system. And unfortunately, that's why people thrive in prison. The people thrive to be institutionalized in prison because that's what they know. That's what they've been taught. And it's a crazy cycle. So it's like, how do we break that cycle for everybody? We teach concepts of following and conforming. So I'm not saying don't conform, don't follow rules, but you have to do it in your own way. I was in the Marine Corps and I'm an individual, and we talked about that. So people always say, well, how did you get away with being an individual in the Marine Corps? The
Right.
way
Because
I got
that's not
away
supposed
with
to happen.
correct, because there's such a you dress the same, act the same, walk the same, and you even begin to talk the same, and you eat the
Yep.
same.
Navy's the same way.
That's what I'm saying. The military is all the same, and we know why. And again, you're not an individual, you're an individual as well. So you kind of navigated the system. But
Yeah.
what I tell people is that I satisfied what the Marine Corps needed. I did my job and I did it well, but I did it
Mm.
my way. As Frank Sinatra said, I did it my way. So that's what I began to see, is that people, even though they were rising to a certain level of success in their career or their business, they were not happy because it necessarily wasn't their choice. Maybe their parents influenced them, society influenced them. I had one gentleman I talked to, and he was a police officer. And I said, what are you going to do when you retire? He says, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm like, cool. What made you think of that? He said, my grandmother's a teacher. My grandfather's a teacher.
Ooh.
My wife's grandfather.
Family business.
My parents, my wife, and her family are teachers. And I said, so they must have really had a hard time you being a law enforcement. He said, I was looked at like I was the outcast of the family.
Wow.
And so he was able to make his own decision against peer pressure, family pressure, all of the things. And he was happy. He had a very successful career in law enforcement. He did a great service. He was a great public servant, and he was a teacher, and he was teaching the public, and he was teaching other law enforcement. But if he didn't have the wherewithal to follow his own path, it would have been easy for him to follow the other path. And
Exactly.
So that's what I see happens. We're all pushed into this path, and it's not a bad thing. Our family loves us. Our friends love us. So they're going to guide us what they think is best. And especially
Right.
I thought of you as well with this, because you've gone into the podcast business, and look at all of the people that have podcasts out there. Look at all of the templates out there. There's a million templates you could have followed, which is the standard. You don't do standard.
No. I can't do standard. No. We love bringing television to the podcast world as opposed to a podcast trying to go to television. But I got to ask you, because I know somebody's out there right now and they're going, man, he's talking to me. Maybe they just retired during COVID from their previous career, and they don't want to go back to that now that everything's back open, or they're getting out of the military, or, like my nephew just graduated high school and he's just starting that journey.
Yes.
He's just starting, and he's been in that school system this entire time. So what's the step to start looking and, one, noticing that you're not being you for you, and two, actually make movement to start being you for you?
Great question. You are like my counterpart here. I love it. We're working step and step, because that's exactly what it takes. It because people don't even step to ask that question. They don't even take the time. They just follow the path. They follow their family. So what the steps you do is you just take a minute. You take everyone's advice, because people love you. And then you just sit back and you say, what do I enjoy doing? Do I enjoy playing music? Am I an artist? Do I want to be on camera? Do I want to be behind camera? So that's what I do when I work with people. I just ask them these basic questions. And then there are some people, as you know, in the business, they don't want to be in front of the camera. They're perfect behind the scenes. And that's where they fit. That's where they like. They're the engineer. They're the technician. They're the sound guy. I have a friend he retired 30 years, a sound guy in the movie industry. That's where his place was, because he was being him for him. So I just ask people to take a minute and explore, what do you want to be in the military? Do you want to be in law enforcement? I had a passion to be in the military. I've always wanted to be in the Marine Corps. So that was very easy for me. So some people want to be in law enforcement, they want to be a nurse. So just focus on what it is that you enjoy. Do you enjoy working with people? Do you enjoy behind the scenes? That's your first step. And then have the courage, which we'll talk about in the future, to step out and do what it is you want to do, because there's always going to be naysayers.
Yeah. And they get louder and louder the further you step out away from the pack.
Absolutely.
As my mother used to call them, crabs in a barrel. They always want to pull you back in when you start stepping out of the pack. I totally understand that. You inspire me. I know you're a speaker and you're a trainer, you were a teacher, and martial arts. I mean, you're so balanced. You get around you and you just feel calmer. You also feel a bit safer because you can kick some butt. I want to just, for the last minute before Alan cuts us off, people are listening right now going, yeah, I know I need to be me for me, but I'm scared to do that. How do they get past that first moment of fear and step out of their comfort zone?
Exactly. And what you have to do is you have to expand your circle. And that's the scariest part, because you're stuck with your family, your friends, your high school buddies, your college buddies, your military buddies, and they're going to keep you right here. So you have to expand your horizon. That's why things like Secret Knock and individual networking events help. Expand your horizon, get with new people, get new thoughts, get a new perspective. Because grandma's going to tell you what she knows from the 1940s, which she thinks is best for you. And it might not quite be best for you in 2022.
Right. That's exactly it. Well, I want to thank you for hanging out this month. You're our expert for this quarter, so you're coming back again next month and the month after. We're going to have so much fun. You, sir, are amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, sir. Hey, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Go be you for you. That's right. Step out of your comfort zone. I hope you'll be back next time. And as always, before I let you go, remember, go to tigodirect.com so you can get in touch with Richard. Because, hey, he's a speaker, he's a motivator, and he's a really cool guy to have at your event. Go talk to this man, tigodirect.com. Okay, I hope you'll be here next time. And as always, I'm Tigo. I'll talk to you next time.